Hello. Hello. My name is Eric D. Martin, certified public bookkeeper. Today we are going to read a book called How to Start a Home-Based Bookkeeping Business. We'll only be reading the first 14 pages of the first chapter of the first. We're going to read the first chapter, which is on the 14th page. So you want to start a bookkeeping business. Many people dream about starting their own business and being their own boss. They envision how wonderful it would be to have a flexible schedule and all other benefits of self-employment. However, the reality of being self-employed is not as wonderful as people usually envision. The reality is that being self-employed is a lot of hard work. You will spend a lot of time and energy getting the business started and then managing and growing the business. Self-employed people often realize that they work much harder than they did when they were employees, but find the work more fulfilling because it is their own business. Before you quit your job to pursue your entrepreneurial dream, it is important to consider whether self-employment is for you. This chapter will help you do some self-assessment and introspection to see if you are really suited for self-employment and help you realize the benefits of being an employee as well as the pros and cons of self-employment. How the industry has changed. The bookkeeping industry has changed quite a bit over the years, and those green columnar paths are a thing of the past. Significant changes in technology have occurred, and increasingly complex rules and regulations affect the industry for accounting services. Technology has enabled some small businesses to use QuickBooks or another accounting application to do some of their own bookkeeping. However, these small business owners generally need help with setup and training to learn how to properly enter transactions. After the initial setup, they often need assistance on a monthly or quarterly basis as well. They may need assistance making reconciliations before the purchase of a vehicle, figuring payroll, performing year-end tasks, or cleaning up mistakes they made when entering things incorrectly. Improvements in technology have enabled us to work remotely with clients from anywhere, so geographic boundaries are no longer important. You can have clients from coast to coast or work remotely when you are traveling. With our ability to scan and email documents, access client computers remotely, and even use webcams, virtually offices and remote bookkeeping are becoming more common. In the appendices is an interesting article written by Jay Shaw that examines the changes and evolution of the accounting industry. It helps explain the changes in technology and how the changes have affected accounting services. In addition, continuous changes have occurred in the rules and regulations for income sales and payroll taxes and other government or industry compliance issues. These continuous changes make it challenging to stay current with the latest rules, requirements, and regulations. It is challenging to know it all, regardless of whether you work as a home-based sole practitioner or work in an accounting office with others. As a result, many bookkeepers choose to specialize in a certain industry or to provide only certain services. For example, I no longer provide payroll or tax services. I decided it was too difficult to keep abreast of the ever-changing rules and regulations. I am aware of the general rules and regulations, but I do not try to keep abreast of all the details and intricacies. Instead, I refer clients to other accounting professionals for services such as tax preparation or payroll service. Do this Doing this has allowed me to specialize in areas that I enjoy. QuickBooks consulting and training. Why your motivation for starting your own business? When my first child was born, I took a 6 month maternity leave from work. After a couple of months, I realized I did not want to go back to a full time job outside the home. That's when I wanted to start my own home based accounting practice. My initial motivation was to stay home with my son and earn enough money to help cover our monthly expenses. I was fortunate that my husband had a good job with health insurance, which made it easier financially. My business has evolved over the years as far as the services I provide, but I have always been home based. People start their own home business for a variety of reasons. What is the motivation for starting your own home business? Perhaps you lost your job as a result of a struggling economy and have been unable to get another job. Maybe you have always wanted to start your own business and took a buyout from your employees and your employer to quit, or you just quit. Maybe you are still working but are eager to go out on your own. Your motivation for starting your own business may affect your vision and plans for the business. Regardless of why you want to start your own business, what are important are your desire and passion for it. It is hard work to start your own business, and doing so takes time and energy. Your strong desire and passion will help you be successful and persevere through the long hours and challenges you will face. The drive to succeed may be financial, especially if you need the income to support yourself or your family. Maybe you truly love bookkeeping or taxes and are excited to be doing what you love. Or perhaps you have a strong desire to be self employed and have the skills and experience for a bookkeeping business. Whatever your reason, having a strong desire and passion will help you be successful. And self employment for you. It is common to hear people talk about how much they would like to quit their job and be their own boss. They could get away from their terrible boss and annoying coworkers. They are sick and tired of working long hours when no one seems to appreciate their work. They dream about being self-employed, being an entrepreneur and starting their own business. They believe self-employment will provide them with so much freedom and flexibility. They dream of the wonderful doors that self-employment will bring. Unfortunately, it is a dream. Reality is that although being self-employed has many benefits, it is not easy. Being self-employed is not for everyone. Most people have been an employee at some point in their life, perhaps in many positions or companies. For many, it is easy to know what it is like to be an employee, but they may not know what it is really like to be self-employed. How are self-employed working conditions different than those of an employee? Look at the chart on page 4 and compare the characteristics. As you can see, you may have uncertainties when you are self-employed. After your business is established, you usually work more hours than you did when you were an employee. When you are self-employed, you have to do all administrative tasks, marketing, and many other tasks that you did not have to worry about as an employee. As you look at the differences between employees and self-employed workers, consider which one is right for you. Characteristics for employees versus self-employed. Work hours. Employee, specified hours, 8 to 5. Self-employed. Very great. You have to work as much as required to get the work done. Paycheck. Every payday. Self-employed, uncertain and varies. Plus you have to invoice and collect payment too. Breaks, lunch, hour. Defined time as an employee. Self-employed. Sometimes there is no time for a break or lunch. Overtime pay. If hourly or maybe comp time off as an employee. Self-employed. Same billing rate. Sick, vacation days. Employee may be paid. Self-employed. Unpaid and maybe no time for it. Holidays. Employee may be paid. Self-employed. Unpaid and maybe no time for it. Health insurance. Employee maybe no employer provided or discounted. Self-employed. Expensive. Stress and worry. Employee. Usually none when you go home. Self-employed. Always the buck stops with you. Office furniture, computer software, copy and supplies. Employee. Providing. Self-employed. Up to you. Administrator. IT. HR or other help. Employee. Available. Self-employed. Your own You're on your own. Make copies, purchase office supplies, empty trash, update computers, answer phones, market your business, and more. You do it all. Ultimate responsibility to client. Employee, your bosses. Self-employed, you're it. If you make a mistake or a client is unhappy, it is your responsibility. Resources and support. Employee, usually there are other people for questions, training, or support. Self-employed, you're it. Training and continuing education. Employee, may be provided or paid for. Self-employed, up to you. On the other hand, being self-employed has many benefits. A few key benefits of self-employment include flexible hours and work schedule. I'm not a morning person, and I would rather stay up late working. I know some morning people who enjoy getting up early and working several hours before breakfast as long as the work gets done. It doesn't matter when you work. You can work when you are most productive instead of struggling to stay awake in the afternoon. You can do something else during that time. You can take some time off during the week or whenever needed. The freedom and flexible schedule are two of the main benefits of self-employment. That is why I quit the corporate world and went out on my own. As a new mom, I wanted to be able to attend school events, go on field trips, or do other family-oriented things with my kids. Whether you need to renew a driver's license, go to the dentist or doctor, or help with sick or aging parents, having a flexible schedule can be a tremendous benefit. After all, sometimes you may just want to take an afternoon off to enjoy the spring weather. Select the services you provide and the clients you want. Instead of having a boss selling what you have to do, you can choose what type of work or services you want to provide. After I graduated from college, I went to work for a public accounting firm. During tax season, we had to work on taxes in addition to the adult audit work. I never liked taxes, not even the tax classes I had in college. For several months, I had to do work that I neither liked or nor enjoyed. For 70 to 80 hours a week or more, now that I am self-employed, I do not offer tax services anymore. In addition, when you are self-employed, you can select the clients and industries that interest you. Many accounting firms assign staff members to work on clients without input from those members as to their preferences. For example, if you are assigned to work on a client in the healthcare industry, then you are likely to be scheduled to work on another healthcare client because you have experience in the industry. Before you know it, you are pigeonholed in a certain industry, whether you like it or not. When you are self-employed, you can choose the clients or industries that you like to work for based on your interests and preference. Select with whom you want to work. As an employee, you may not like your boss or coworkers. Perhaps your boss is almost intolerable, or you have a coworker who is so annoying that you hate going to work every day. Maybe you are assigned to work with clients who are disrespectful or otherwise not enjoyable. As an employee, you may not be able to do much to change the situation. When you are self-employed, you can choose the clients you work with if you do not like someone for whatever reason. Then you do not have to work with that person if a client is always late, does not provide the information needed, wants to take questionable deductions, treats you with disrespect, or for whatever reason, then you can fire that client. Have unlimited income potential. As an employee, you are paid a specified amount, either hourly or a salary. You may be eligible for a bonus, but your income is essentially set and limited. If you are an employee of an accounting firm and you bring in new clients, your compensation does not increase as a result of your efforts in most cases. On the other hand, when you are self-employed, your income potential is unlimited. The amount you earn is a direct result of your efforts, skills, and abilities. So if you work many hours and get new clients, you reap the rewards of your efforts. Avoid rush hour. If you are self-employed, you can schedule your appointments or meetings to avoid rush hour. If you have driven in rush hour traffic for any length of time, then you will really appreciate this benefit. I never schedule things before 9 a.m. so that I miss the morning rush hour. In the afternoons, I usually try to finish up so that I can get home before the evening rush. Create your own work environment. Instead of commuting to work every day, you can save time and instead work from your home office. You do not have to worry about wearing business casual attire unless you are meeting with clients. You can work in your PJs and slippers. You can work in your home office on the back deck at the lake, on the beach, or wherever it is most beneficial for you. Personal characteristics are traits. Certain personal characteristics, traits, skills, and abilities are needed to be a small business owner or successful entrepreneur. Some of these tend to be a natural personality characteristics, whereas others may be skills or abilities that can be nurtured or developed over time. Either way, it is important to do an honest assessment of yourself so you know your areas of strength and where you need to improve. Use the chart on page 8 through 9 to perform an objective self-assessment to see if you have personal characteristics you will need to start and run your own bookkeeping business. Do not do not expect to be strong in all areas. Instead, use this chart to help you understand and be more aware of your strengths and weaknesses. Why be a home-based business? Today, over half of all U.S. businesses are home-based, but in the past, being a home-based business was not as widely accepted as it is today. People would try to hide the fact that they ran a home-based business in an effort to appear that they were located in an office building. Some people will use suit B basement or suit A attic as part of the dress. Thanks to the growing popularity of home-based businesses today, this mindset has changed among business owners. A service-based business such as bookkeeping is especially suited to being a home-based business. Usually, clients do not need to actually come to your office in the event that you do need to meet with the client. You can have a quick meeting in a coffee shop or other public places With the technology available, you can work with clients from coast to coast, Hawaii, Alaska, other countries. You are not limited to a geographic area anymore. So people think they need an office to be a legitimate business. Ask yourself why you think you need it or want an office. Why incur the overhead costs of an office when it does not matter to your clients or potential clients? The additional costs of renting an office, rent utilities, phone, internet access, and more are a burden that can be avoided. When you start your business, you can minimize the risks and costs involved by making your office home base. Balancing work and family. Your family needs will change depending on whether you deal with young children, aging parent illnesses, or any number of other situations that may arise. That is one of the best aspects of being self employed. The flexibility you have in your schedule. As long as the work is done, you can do it when it is convenient for you. However, if you do not set boundaries, it is easy for work to take too much time or attention away from your family and vice versa. You should try to keep a balance between the two and adapt to meet the needs of your family and job. Think about when you want to work. Do you want to be available nights and weekends for your family? Do you want to work while you are on vacation? Or is this time off limits? Or would it depend on the needs of your clients? For example, I had a client who wanted me to be on call when I was on vacation, so we discussed the ground rules for our communication during this time. The client could call only so many times a day, and a reasonable fee for my on call services. The client was happy, and I was willing to do it too. You get to set your own rules. You should inform your clients about your rules and then enforce them. Do not let clients take advantage of you and your time. Adapting your business to meet changing family needs. I started my home based accounting business when my first child was born so I could be home with him. When my kids were little, I used Mother's Day out for a few days a week so I could get some work done. After my kids were in school, I had more time for work, but I did not work nights or weekends. I was very involved with PTA and school events, and I kept the business at a manageable level. I learned to fire some clients, and I quit doing taxes, which I never liked to do. Soon my kids were in middle school and high school, and I had more time to go to business. I started doing what I really enjoyed, teaching and training, which did involve some nights, weekends, and travel. Now, when we go on vacation or to the lake, I sometimes work remotely with clients. For example, I have helped clients from the ski lodge in the mountains of Colorado. I need a break from skiing anywhere or on vacation in Florida. I took a break from the beach, went to the room, and had a 1 hour training session with a client. With technology, I can work from anywhere or anytime that I choose to schedule an appointment. Do you have the skills and experience? When I started my own accounting business, I thought it would be relatively easy. After all, I had a degree in accounting and I am a CPA. I had worked in public accounting for 3 years, auditing companies from various industries and doing some tax returns. Plus, I had worked at a large private company for 3 years where one of my positions had been in corporate finance reporting and consolidation, so that I could do bookkeeping and taxes for small businesses, right? I quickly realized that I still needed to learn a lot. For example, I knew how to accrue payroll for the year journal entries. However, I did not know how to process payroll or all the various due dates and filing requirements. Something for sales tax. I needed to learn about those too. I quickly realized how much I did not know, and I had to learn as I went along. I had to find resources and seminars to help me. You need to assess your bookkeeping skills and experience to determine if you are ready to go out on your own. You may need to take some classes or learn more to be better prepared. A degree in accounting is not required, but you need to make sure you know the basics of accounting or bookkeeping. Your local community college usually offers accounting class with affordable tuition, typically 75 to 150 per credit hour. Often, the community college allow an individual to take some classes. As a non-degree seeking student, at a minimum, you may want to take a couple of accounting courses to learn the basics. It would be helpful to have accounting or bookkeeping experience before you start your own business. The challenges cover where to get this experience. Check with the job placement department of your local community college. Many times, small businesses have lessons for a student for basic bookkeeping tasks. This could be a great way to start getting experience. Other places to look for a bookkeeping job include Craigslist, local classifieds, and LinkedIn. Some small nonprofit organizations may need your help as well. Consider churches, homeowners associations, PTAs, scouts, or others who might appreciate your assistance. If you work for a small nonprofit organization, your work may be unpaid but will help you get experience. Another way to get experience is to work for another accountant bookkeeper. Contact sole proprietors or small firms. They usually hire help before busy season starts, so it's best to contact them in the autumn. If they do not need a full-time person, see if they could use you on a part-time basis as a subcontractor. Remember that you are trying to learn more and get on the job training so you can reach your goal of starting your own business. If you already have the education and experience, then you may find that you need to learn more about special topics or areas. Numerous seminars and webinars are available on a variety of topics. You might be amazed by how many free webinars are available online on a variety of topics. Use search engines such as Google online viewing sites such as YouTube to find ones of the topic you need, or check with local organizations. A small business development center service corps of retired executives and others for seminars. Do not fear that you have to know it all before you get started. You will never know it all. Things that will be new to you will always come up in the business. You need to know the basics, how to research to find the answers, or where you can get help when needed. This is how you learn from experience. Over time, you will learn when to turn down a client or project that exceeds your abilities, especially if you know your capabilities and limitations. For example, you may know how to do corporate taxes returns. However, you may not be ready to do taxes for a multinational corporation with a number of subsidiaries or other complex tax situations. Financial consideration. Finally, before you start your own business, it is a good idea to consider your personal financial situation. Remember that it takes time to build a business and a solid client base. It will take time to get the first few clients. You need to be prepared financially during this time when planning for your business. You need to factor in startup costs for a home-based bookkeeping business. The startup costs are not significant compared with those of some businesses. Prior to starting your business, it is a good idea to have money saved to cover several months of living expenses, perhaps 6 to 12 months, then so you can support the business during the time it takes to build it up. If you have a family, it is important to discuss your plans with your spouse or significant other prior to starting your business. You want his or her support in starting your business. Communication is important in alleviating tension and misunderstanding. If you are currently employed, you might consider starting your business part time. Perhaps you want to work on your business nights and weekends. Initially, doing this allows you to get your first few clients and establish a base before you quit your job. Although you will be working a lot and it will be tiring, it is less risky and can help with the financial transition from employee to self-employed. Okay, that is all the reading that we have for tonight. Thank you for coming out. God bless you and good night.